say we are women, we mean that we are brave, we are strong, we are capable, we are unique, we are woman to woman.
Good afternoon, Africa. Good afternoon, South Africa. Here we are with Woman to Woman, and we are fulfilling our promise. Isn't that, Coco?
Yes,
Good
Mrs.
afternoon
M.
to you.
Good afternoon, Mrs. M, and good afternoon to all our viewers.
We promised you last week that, of course, we would bring two sides of the story. So, first of all, we brought parents speaking about the empty nest syndrome. But we said we are going to give reason and ears to hear about the experience of the youngsters and the dream of leaving home, going to varsity, experiencing a new life, and really enjoying the moment. Is it so, Toko?
It is. And it's, you know, it's a dream of many young ladies, even guys. It's their dream to have that sense of, like, now I'm leaving home, I'm going to varsity. I want to feel the feel, actually. Yeah.
And sometimes the feeling is too intense because wrong choices come and whatever they had in mind, it does not come to happen. But I'm giving too much in.
Yeah.
Too much in. And today we bring to the show Gugu. Welcome, Gugu, to Woman to Woman.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
And Gugu, you are one who had that dream, isn't that?
Yes, I did. I wanted to fulfill my dream of going to university because I wanted to take out like the financial strains we were having at home, because I didn't like the situation we were in, living in poverty. So I had the dream of going to university, being a graduate and get a job so that I can be able to take care of my family. But unfortunately, things didn't unfold as I had hoped they would unfold.
And today we are going to learn more about her story. So Gugu, what was your dream? What was the topic or the course you wanted to study at varsity?
So I started with Bachelor of Commerce in Law. After it, I was supposed to do 2 years for LLB because I wanted to be an advocate. Yes. So I only did for now like Bachelor of Commerce in Law.
So you left home, you got your matric exams like many of the matriculants got 2 weeks ago. You got your results and you were in.
Yes.
What was in your mind? How life would be like in varsity, far away from home, because you would have to study in another province, right?
Yes. So I just assumed that life was gonna just be like so smooth and everything like is gonna go as I had planned that things would go. But unfortunately, that was not the case, because when I went there, I had a lot of problems. I faced a lot of difficulties, even with registration, accommodation, and also stipend, like living allowance that I didn't know that it was actually important. In my mind, I was like, no, I'm going to university, I'm gonna have the freedom, and life is gonna be good.
I wanted to hear more about this concept.
Yes.
I'm gonna have the freedom. What was in your mind?
In my mind, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be alone. No one is gonna tell me what to do. I'm just gonna be my own person, and I will get to make the rules of my life in terms of what do I do, what do I want to do, and no one is gonna tell me anything. I'm just in charge, basically.
So that's how you perceived freedom for you?
Yes.
Like, I will do everything the way I want. Nobody's going to order me around.
Yes.
Nobody will tell me what to do.
Yes.
That was the idea of freedom for you?
Yes, that was the idea.
Because probably at home you had discipline.
Yes, I had discipline at home. So it was like, now I'm gonna be my own person. I'm gonna take over the world with the rules I would like implement for myself only. And no one is gonna tell me what to do. And worse, I was gonna be in another province. So I'll be far away from home. No one is gonna see what I'm doing and everything.
There's a question that is in the mind of our audience. Were you in the church already by then?
When I was in, yes, I was already in church. when I was in matric, I would go to church, but not often because I had to focus more on school. So yeah, from matric, basically I got my dream. And then when I went to university, that's when I started to lack in terms of coming to church, because there at Free States, I would see the branch there, but I wouldn't go. I would only go when I was this side back home, and it was during holidays sometimes when I had the time, like, oh no, let me go visit church and go see what's going on. But it was not as constant as I was when I was still there in high school.
But when you were around here, as you said that you would go to church more when you were here, was it because you were going to church because of your parents or because of your mother? And then there you felt like nobody will order me to go to church?
No, actually, at home, I came to church because of my father, but unfortunately he left, and then I was left alone. So, but I enjoyed going to church because there I had like my own family, so I would go because, yeah, it was where I would feel at home.
Okay.
Now let us imagine you arrive in a new province to varsity, and of course you had to stay at a dormitory or in campus. What were the first changes in your life that you did?
Okay, so the adjustment that I made when I got to university was that, okay, now I'm on my own and I'm supposed to fulfill my goals. So I had to plan around, okay, my schedule regarding like my classes, and which is something also I'm not used to because at school they make them for us. So it was a bit smooth at first because I knew what I wanted, and I knew it's okay. I had to work around what I truly wanted. So I had to make sure I attend my classes regularly and also have some timetable like my own for studying and all that. And the other one was regarding doing my laundry, the other responsibilities besides academics. So I had to adjust regarding also that grocery buying and managing my finances also. Those adjustments that I actually did make in my life.
So when you went there, you mean that you already knew what was required from your side, like all these things you were going to manage them because nobody now is with you at home. So you knew that I will have to do this. I'll have to know the time to study. I'll have to know to cook and all that. So you were prepared already.
Regarding the other ones that are not academically, I was not prepared. Only academically, I was prepared, and also friends. I was also prepared regarding friends, which ones to
mingle with.
Yes, but regarding like cooking, finances,
that was not part of your dream.
That was not part of it was like, what's going on now? Because I'm not used to this and all that. But I still have to eat, and so it was just a challenge on its own.
What would friends who maybe were already in varsity and they would visit back home would tell you all how it's life like in varsity?
It was like a dream. They would mention it like a dream come true, and it was like, okay, you're gonna have like the best time of your life there. It's nice, you're gonna enjoy yourself, you're gonna meet new people and make like friendships that are good and all that. I was gonna be like, okay, I'm living a Hollywood lifestyle in South Africa,
That is interesting.
Yes,
But the cooking, washing, and cleaning was not part of that Hollywood.
No, it was not.
So they would only draw something like, it's going to be beautiful, you're going to have good friends, you're going to be free, but they never told you that there are other challenges that will come with it. You have to fend for yourself, you have to take care of yourself, you have to do laundries for yourself.
No, they didn't mention that part of the package, to be honest. It was only regarding having fun, the freedom also, being on your own, meeting new people who are cool and different from you, and a different environment on its own. Like, it was only that only.
And you just wanted to go to South African Hollywood?
Yes. Yes.
And then the first year was smooth for you?
Yes, it was, because I was able to do well. I really did well on my first year. I was one of the top students, so I was managing my academics very well then. Yeah, It was,
But things changed.
yes, but things changed, especially when my grandmother started to be sick.
Before we go into that, I wanted to hear more about the dream. And we went to the streets and asked it, many youngsters, because you know now, we're doing their shows intentionally for this season. You're leaving home, you're preparing yourself, you're living this dream of being in a Hollywood. You were in Bloemfontein, right?
Yes.
And there are others who go to Cape Town and Durban and PE and
Braamfontein,
Tata.
they come here.
And there are others who are excited about being a Brum person,
Yes.
a Brum student. So we went to the streets and asked them, what do you think it will be like? What is the dream all about, the fuss? Let us watch together.
We went out on the streets to gather insights on people's experiences in varsity. Here's what we discovered. How did you imagine your social life would be in university? Was it what you thought it would be?
Yes and no. Well, you know, when you go to school, you think you have everything sorted out or in control, but you get new people that influence you, new people that don't influence you. So it was not what I envisioned it to be.
Looking back now, do you feel your expectations of varsity have been met? Why or why not?
No. Reason being is I thought that varsity will be easy, soft life, all about niceness, relaxation, you know. But when I got there, it was serious. It was more advanced learning. You know, I did more modules than I previously did, subjects, you know. And there, unfortunately, there is no teacher to come behind you and tell you that you need to submit something, you need to be in class. It was all on you.
Did you think university would be more fun or more serious? How did that turn out?
Definitely fun, because I don't have to go to school like high school. I thought it would be less strict, but it is actually more stricter, because once you fail, you have to pay for that module. So it was definitely serious and less fun.
Would you have done anything differently if you had known what university would be like?
Yes, I would have been more focused and I would have engaged a lot more with God than me being there unprepared, thinking that life is nice, only to find out that it's actually more serious. Hey, I would have focused more on my studies. Yes.
Let's head back to the show.
It's funny to see how they expect much, the Hollywood in South Africa, like Google here. But reality is not really like this.
Yes.
Neto.
And they don't tell them that. They don't tell them that. They just tell them the good things that they think they are good, actually. So
This is why I say woman to woman is very fair.
Yeah.
Because we're here preparing you for
we
that.
unveil everything.
So help us in this task.
Yeah.
First year, all right, you had some challenges because you had to adjust to those chores that were not things that you were really planning, but anyway you did it, and anyway you got it right. When things started changing?
Things started to change because I was living with people who were having a different lifestyle from my own. So that was also one of the challenges that I had to go through, because as much as I would abstain from the things they were doing, when I would go out of my room, they are there and they are doing their own
Let's
things.
be honest. Let us tell them the dream is not as perfect. What was the environment like, or what were the things that were different from what you were used to?
So the other one was that I thought I'm going to school, obviously, to study, and there wouldn't be like other temptations like groove places, like places to club and all that, only to find out, Kuti, at school where I was staying, like inside the school, like the school premises, like there were events regarding like such things of clubbing and partying. So that was like a challenge to me, because every week, like basically every week, they would host something whereby it's events and you're supposed to study. How are you able to study? Like maybe, okay, now they're making noise, they're close by, it's a resident that's close by. So that was also another challenge because I was like, Aibo, isn't this supposed to be school? Like only school things we're doing? But no, it was not like that because it was just challenging on its own. But I had to like try and abstain. And
how was the reaction of your friends when you didn't want to be part of it? When you would excuse yourself or say, guys, I want to study, what would be the reaction?
Okay, so I was an introvert, so I was not mainly like with a group of people of some sorts. I just attended with those whom I shared classes with, and besides that, I would just like hang out alone most of the time. So I was like, okay, I go to my classes and then I go back to my room. Like that was my routine. Eventually, I got to conversate with others, like different kind of people around. And then as much as I wouldn't do what they wanted me to do, it was like okay with them because it's not like they're going to force me or anything. So it was just, comfortable.
So the introvert person became an outgoing person with these friends.
Yes.
So tell us about the change.
So the change like happened unexpectedly, and I don't think I was even like conscious about it because it just happened out of nowhere, whereby, okay, now I start to hang out, like sit with them while they're still like doing their own things, which I didn't like to do. So I would sit with them and then we talk, and then as time went by, now I want to try it out. It's okay, let me also smoke herbally now. And then now I start to experience, I'm like, okay, I am choking them, like, okay, I'm not gonna do this anymore. And then only to find out, maybe next time or after a couple of days, and then I come again and then I start to smoke now with them.
Though they didn't like force you into anything, but did you feel pressure, like just because they are doing that, so you had that pressure of, no, for me to fit into being friends with them, let me smoke, let me do this. Did you feel that, or you just did it because you just wanted to do it?
I won't say I did feel any pressure, but I think it was that thing of maybe you like a certain person to want to be their friend, and only to find out it's okay, they are doing this, and then now you also want to look cool in front of them, and then you end up also doing what they are doing. So it was like that.
The sense of needing to fit in.
Yes.
So the first year you didn't bother much, you were a more isolated person, but the second year all of a sudden you start feeling that you need to be part of that group. Otherwise, life was hard. Did you have any guys there that would be of interest for you?
I was dating at that time since from high school, but the guy was in UJ, so it was like a long-distance relationship. Yes, but I was like, I can say like he was the one who was my friend overall throughout everything, because we would like video call and talk, even have like our own schedule. It's okay, we're gonna study at this time.
Did the relationship survive long distance?
Yes, it did until the third year.
The first year.
The third year.
The third year of our
third year.
relationship, yes.
But you were in the second year of varsity. Which year were you at varsity?
That time I was already, when I started to date.
No, when the relationship came to an end.
It was that final year, my final year.
So you managed to keep it through until the final year?
Yes.
With all the challenges that you had?
Yes.
Did he know you would go out, you would party?
Yeah, I would tell him everything actually, and
Probably he was doing the same.
no, he was not. It was not his thing actually. So
It was not in him.
yes, so he would like, okay, I wouldn't suggest it, but you can do it, because like it's not like he can force me on what to do. So he was like open-minded, like, okay, you can do it, but he would make sure it's okay. He checks on regarding my safety and all that. It's okay, what's happening. As much as I think maybe he didn't even like it, but he didn't know what to do actually to stop me, because it's not like he's here to see me doing everything.
The change that you had from your first year to the following years, what was the reason?
The change. I think it started when my granny started to be sick, because that now made me to be more worried. And as I became more worried, that's when like I saw like the constant change of me wanting to be around those friends whom I didn't even think that they were suitable for me to be my friends. So when that started to happen, like eventually it got to a point whereby when now my granny passed away, I then indulge more in hanging out with my friends now and not like even neglecting my schoolwork, to a point whereby, okay, now my focus when I wake up, I know that I'm going to hang out with my friend, we're going to smoke, we're going to be high and everything, and later on...
So you did not only smoke hubbly bubbly cigarettes, but you went on with some other chemicals?
Yes, it was
What?
weed.
Weed.
Yes.
Did your boyfriend know?
Yes, he did know.
What did he say about?
Like, he wouldn't understand, but he was like, okay, he would see that I was stressed, obviously, regarding my grandmother, but I feel like it was a matter of he doesn't know how to help, so he just like, okay, fine, it's your decision. As long as you're okay with it, you can go on with it.
So going deeper into all these substances was a cover-up, like I'm stressed because I lost my granny.
Yes.
So you went deeper into it.
Yes.
Is it because you were very close to your grandmother, that is why?
Yes, I was very close. Like, I would say she was my best friend, and she was also one of the reasons why I actually went to university. It was all for her, basically, at that time.
So instead of reacting in a way, let me pay a tribute to her, because of the good influence, you got lost in the process.
Yes.
Trying to cope with her passing.
Yes.
How far did you go?
I went to as far as now going to clubs, because there in that Bloemfontein, where I was, like we had clubs, we would go to party and all that, and we would like spend our money there. And it was just a mess, because at some point everything of mine was like a mess, to a point whereby, okay, now even going to classes, it's a no for me. I'm not even interested. Like, it's something I don't want to do. It's like I don't want to do. But when exams comes, I would have the hope which I'm going to study day before, and then I'm going to go there and write, which I would be like, no, I'm smart. I can handle this. Only to find out when I get to the exam room, I would get like panic attacks. And I wouldn't even know what's happening, because I was like, I don't understand what's happening with me. So, now I start to have that mindset, which maybe now when they would mention, there's this thing of witchcraft and all that, now it's basically happening to me. I was assuming, but I didn't know like the actual cause of it all. So, and then also, I was not basically like interested anymore in school. Whatever that happened, because I was also in a bursary, so I didn't even care anymore what really happened. Especially when my boyfriend and I like broke up, that was when like I lost like I became worse. Like, it's where I throw in like the towel and like, I'm done, I don't care. So it was now me living my life, like partying, hanging out with my friends, watching Netflix, binge watching the Netflix all day long, not caring about my studies and all that. So it just became a mess to that point.
So how did you do now with your studies? Were you still doing well, or now it was you from the top student? Remember, you were a top student. So after all this, how were your marks?
My marks were very bad. My marks were very bad, and I wouldn't even understand how come is this like happening, because I'm used to studying day before, but now why is it like not showing? Because I would go like even to getting like 3 out of 50 out of my exams, and then I still wouldn't even care. Like, there's nothing I can do. I did study, so what's
3 out of 50, that's bad.
I did study the day before.
That's bad.
How about the dream? Would that cross your mind? I came here with a purpose, and my family is hoping for the best in my life. Would those thoughts come to you? What do I do now?
Now that I think about it, they wouldn't come to me. Like, they were totally erased the moment when I feel like when I lost my granny, and also when my boyfriend and I broke up, like I lost it all. Like, they were not there anymore.
It's like they didn't exist. You erased them.
Yeah, it's like I don't even know why I'm at university, because I hated it. Like, I hated school now. Like, I don't care about school anymore. I'm I'm not even in the mood to study. I just want to live my life the way I want to, regarding like staying with friends, partying, smoking, being high, and all that only.
What was your worst moment
At university.
in this whole situation?
When my boyfriend and I broke up, because I feel like he was the last hope I had. So now when I also lost that, yeah, it threw me off. I feel like I went insane, but I was not insane, but I lost it when that happened, because now I was all alone and I had no one to rely on. So the last person whom I had hope with, okay, he's the last person standing for me, to be there for me, supports me and everything, shower me with that love that I needed. Now he's also gone, and now I'm all alone. So that was like the most like breaking down, like the breaking point of my life, whereby I can't even believe what just happened. It's like a surprise, it's a shock. It's okay, what's happening to my life now? What's going on?
Which year were you at?
It was my final year.
Your final year.
Yes.
That bad performance with your grades, with your results, did compromise your bursary?
Yes, it did, because now I was in my final year, yes. So even the passing of my granny, December, that's when my boyfriend and I broke up. So during that time, already I was indulging myself in the lifestyle that I was having now. So when December came, I knew in my mind, it's no, I failed, and I didn't even care. I didn't even care. It was like totally erased all those dreams and everything. I just knew, and then I was like, nah, it's fine, I don't care. But when January came, and then now I was at home, and I have to account, and I would see the situation at home and everything, and then...
And you never told them?
They don't know anything.
What happened over the past year?
Yes. And they are relying on me. It's okay, nah, Kuku is gonna make it, and everything, but I knew deep down what was happening, and that's when like reality hit. Here I am now, and now I have to take accountability of what really happened.
Because you couldn't go back to university for your other year.
And when I tried to appeal with my bursary, like they didn't even accept, because that was like my last hope. Because I was like, okay, I'm appealing, and I tried also to make like a letter regarding the passing of my granny and all that, hoping they will like have mercy, but that also didn't work. So it was like the end of it all. And then now I had to go and explain to my father, to my family, what's really happening. And it was just something, it was a shock.
But now, when you broke up with your boyfriend, do you think that you broke up because of what was going on with you, though he was supporting you in everything that you were doing? Maybe got tired to some point. Do you think it was the reason?
Yes, I do think it was the reason, because at some point, the lifestyle I was now engaged with, it was not like in line with what he actually wanted. And at that time, I didn't even know, but I was like, maybe he's being selfish, because I supported him through like his worst moments, but now on my worst moment, like he's not able to support me the way I was supporting him, which made me to feel like, okay, yeah, it means like he doesn't even know what love is all about. Only to find out it was actually the change in me that happened that also contributed to our relationship.
Yes.
Today, of that situation, looking back, you recognize that you were going to varsity, and you became someone else. And that's why everything else, including your relationship, failed.
Yes, because I I really changed a lot. I changed to someone whom I myself, I can't even recognize. I couldn't even recognize that person anymore. I was like, okay, but it was me at that moment, and it just happened, and I didn't even know how to account for it. So now all of that was erased, and when I would look at that person, I'm like, this is not me. I don't even know how did I come about to being like this.
We are going to go through the story and how did she pick up the pieces. But the point of our program today is exactly to prepare you and to show you what can go wrong if you don't have the right decisions. Toko, you have prepared something to help them to survive, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, you know, I think what I see from her is that she wanted that taste of freedom. And you know, freedom, as I said in the beginning when I was talking to her, was that we perceive it in different ways. Everyone has a way of perceiving what freedom is. Then other people, they misuse freedom. So I think for me, for your survival, you need to have this strong structure because you know what you want in life.
And you have prepared the 10 things.
You know what you want in life, so you cannot just, you know, throw away everything, you know, just for one day. So we are going to see our insert to see 10 things that we've prepared for you to survive. Like, you know, she suffered a lot. We don't want you to suffer. We told them that woman to woman always provides.
Yeah.
So we are providing those 10 things.
Ten things to know about living alone in varsity. 1. Prioritize self-care. Without family reminders, you will need to take charge of your health, eat well, sleep enough, and find time to relax. Make a self-care routine, whether it's cooking, exercising, or unwinding with a show. 2. Cooking and laundry are essential. Takeout is convenient, but cooking your own meal is healthier and more cost-effective. You can plan meals ahead and cook in bulk. Laundry is another responsibility, but once you get the hang of it, it becomes second nature. 3. Budgeting becomes your responsibility. Managing your own finances is a must. Whether you have a roommate or live alone, learning to budget and track your spending will be a valuable life skill. 4. Time management is key. With academics, social events, and possibly a job, managing your time is crucial. Learn to prioritize and balance work with rest, and the skill will serve you beyond university. 5. You make your own decisions. Living away from home means handling everything, from budgeting to lifestyle choices. Making thoughtful decisions and seeking advice when needed is part of growing up. 6. Roommates are a mixed bag. Roommates can become close friends, but you will need to adjust to different personalities. Clear communication and boundaries are key to maintaining a peaceful living environment. 7. Your academic success is on you. No one will chase you for assignments or grades. Stay organized, manage deadlines, and seek help when needed to stay on track academically. 8. Balance study and social life. It's easy to overdo either studying or socializing. Create a schedule that allows time for both, ensuring you stay on top of your work while also enjoying life. 9. Stay organized to avoid stress. With so much going on, staying organized is essential. Use planners or apps to keep track of assignments, deadlines, and commitments to prevent feeling overwhelmed. 10. Stay connected with home. Even though you're living a new life, don't lose touch with family and friends. Regular calls or video chats will provide emotional support and keep you grounded.
I'm sure if you had those steps, you would have done better.
Yes.
But it's a matter of choice, because even though we're giving them the steps at the end of the day, they will have to deal with the reality, make choices.
Yes.
And now we stopped exactly when you had to go back home, knowing that you didn't come back with your diploma. How did you face that?
It was so challenging because I had like a different vision regarding like going back home to start afresh. So when I had to go back home, and I also have to deal with the problems that I was actually running away from, like the financial strains, the burden that we were dealing with financially at home. So now I had to like account for it like on my own regarding like blaming myself. I tried to look for jobs and that would fail.
Before, I wanted to understand how was the reaction of your family? Because you had to tell the truth.
Oh, yeah. So when I told my family, they didn't really understand what really transpired regarding my life. So, but overall, they ended up supporting me because now, like, this is the reality, so they can't escape from it. So we had to, like, accept and surrender to it so that we're able to move forward. They made sure I was okay regarding, like, not finishing the degree that I actually wanted. And they made sure that I actually don't blame myself. Like, life happens, so...
But did you sense some sort of disappointment in them?
Yes, they were really disappointed, especially my father, because, like, he believed in me so much.
Actually, you are his pride. Even your name says Kukuletu.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now that pride is
Now that exactly.
People talk, the neighbors and all that. Now they also have to account for that, which was another stress to them, having to tell them, no, she's not done, she's home. So that on its own, it was something I would see, like, my father running away from, especially when they would ask, where is Kukuletu? What is she doing now? Is she done? So those, like, type of questions to parents, it was, like, really challenging for also me to witness that from my father, to see
what some of our people may not understand is how things work in South Africa. Because in many other countries, you don't even know the name of your neighbor, you never see, you never greet. But here in communities, it's very close and one takes care of the life of the other. Mm-hmm. So somehow families feel like not only having to deal with the disappointment, with the problem that we have in hands, now I still have to explain to my neighbors, to my family, to my community, and that is a heavy burden on them. But this thing, it's more common than you may believe. I wanted to bring to mind the account of Oratili, who thanks God overcame, but also she had to go back home because of choices.
I did my matric and I passed it very well. But then when I got to varsity, somehow there was like that sense of independence, because you know when you go to varsity, it's always a thing of there's no parents around you, there's no one watching you, you on your own, and you don't have that parental supervision, sort of. And there's also the excitement of having that independence. So I'd be there, instead of attending my classes, I would not go to class. I would be at race, either with friends, or just doing nothing, watching series on my laptop, or doing anything other than studying or even going to school for that matter. Obviously that had an impact on my studies, and my results came back negative. I failed a couple of courses. I know there's one course that I had to repeat like 7 times.
Sure. 7 times.
To do,
wow.
Yes, I had to do it like 7 times before I actually passed it. So eventually that happened for like the first year, the second year, and eventually I was financially excluded from the university. This was difficult because now you have to go back to the same parent and say, look, things didn't work out. And you have to explain yourself, because in their mind, you're at varsity, you're doing, your degree, you should be done in 3 years' time. So that was a difficult situation, because it meant that I had to go back home without the degree, back to that financial situation that isn't good, because I'm the firstborn of 6 other kids. So it is a big family, so you can imagine the financial struggles that we were facing. So there was the feeling of disappointment, having to say to them, I haven't achieved what I was meant to achieve. Now the relatives are going to also question, to say, oh, is she, has she...
What happened?
Yes, what happened? Now, why is she back? Now she's also going to have that disappointment to have to explain to them, to say, oh no, this happened. So all of that was going through my mind at the time. And the reality is that you can't really run away from it, because rest is kicking you out. You can't go anywhere. You have to go back home and explain that situation. The first thing was to bring myself back to the point where I was before everything happened. You'll remember I mentioned earlier that I had deviated from the person that I was, my values, the values that I had learned from the YPG, from as well being raised in the church. All of those things the discipline that I had, all of those things had to come back for me to now piece myself together and actually move forward. And again, this is where the YPG featured in very, it was actually a building block for my life, because that's where you actually learn how to mend your pieces. That's where you learn that life is worth living, that you don't have to give up, that there's always hope, there's always something that you can look forward to if you really set your mind to it and if you allow God to use you.
Sad enough, last week we had parents explaining how they got excited and how they trusted their children.
Yes.
But today we have you guys here saying that you left home with a dream, you came back, you did not succeed. We're not saying it's for everyone. No, we are not generalizing. There are many who go and make it.
Yes.
But pressure is the same. Temptation is the same.
It is.
To lose focus is the same. And this is why we are here, giving, of course, an opportunity to tell what happened, but also giving you some tips. Because if you are embarking in this journey now, aim not to come back defeated or regretting your bad choices, because you will need to deal with the second part to pick up the pieces. That is what you had to do, isn't that?
Yes, I had to try to be strong and try to pick myself up, because I first had to make sure that I get a job, which I didn't actually succeed in. And then eventually, as I tried to continue looking for ways, because I also wanted to start an online business, which also didn't work out. Each and everything that I would try, unfortunately, it wouldn't succeed as I had planned that it would succeed. It was each and everything that I touch, it just doesn't make sense. It just breaks down. Yes. So eventually, I then now started to date again. And as I started to date, I didn't
With the same person?
No.
With someone else?
With someone else. So when I started to date, I would have it wouldn't work out, and then I would end it and then get another one, and then from then it wouldn't end the way I would expect it. It wouldn't go the way I wanted it to go. And then from then I would now, okay, this is not working out. So because I would give the love that I'm supposed to give, but they wouldn't give the same love that I wanted them to give. So I was okay, now basically they are okay with being with me, but not actually putting in the action required for our relationship to work. So it went on to a point now I was having multiple partners, because I would try to adjust. It's okay, this one is boring me today, there's this other one and all that.
Now, sorry, before you go further, I just wanted to ask, while now you were dating, trying to date this one, doesn't work, this one, were you back to the church now?
No, I was not. I was not coming to church. Whenever someone would tell me about church,
you didn't want to hear.
I didn't want to hear, because now my life fell apart, and where was God? So
your excuse.
Look. Where was God?
Yes.
I need to stop this. I can't.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We make wrong choices, then we say, where was
God's
God?
fault, yeah. And you know what she's saying here, remember when she was in Bloemfontein, the excuse was that, no, I'm not in Joburg, so I will go to church when I'm in Joburg. Then she came back to Joburg and she's still not going to church. Where was God when I was going through difficult moments?
Where was Google when she didn't go wrong?
Where was Google?
Where was Google with her dream that she even forgot about it, with the expectation of the family?
Yeah.
But let us go on. So you start dating multiple guys for not because of love, but in exchange for what they could provide.
Yes, because at that time I was really struggling financially, and I couldn't even get a job. Each and everything that I would try wouldn't succeed. So I was now being framed by the environment that I was in, because it was something normal where I'm at doing such things. I'm even the friends I would have, their conversations are about that. Could say, nah, this one is boring me, I'm gonna be with this other one. But it got to a point whereby now, as much as I am getting the benefits, they no longer like satisfy me. Like I was like, okay, I'm getting them, but at what expense? Because I am not really happy. And I then eventually like living felt like a punishment to me. And I then wanted like to really change my life for the better. It was like now I'm being conscious. I'm able to see it's okay. Kuku, this is not you. What are you doing? So now I had to like take a stand and actually like, because I would hear people saying God did this for me and all that. Yes, also God did also things for me, but I didn't have like that encounter. Like when you talk to them and then you listen to the videos, you see with man, I have never experienced such a thing in my life. And then that's when I decided to take the big step of my life. So I went back to church and reconciled with God. From then onwards, I then eventually even got a job. And then I made sure I stopped doing all the things that I did which were bad, which led me to making bad decisions in my life. From then on, life has been great, and I've never been like this happy as before, because I also just now, recently, I also like completed my nail training course.
Congratulations.
So like things are really now going accordingly. Like now my goals are being fulfilled than before, because before they wouldn't be like each and everything that I would try, it wouldn't succeed. Yes. So now everything of mine is just going exactly as I had planned, and everything of mine is just in line with what I want.
Can we say that now you recovered your dream, but on a more mature level?
Yes, I can say that, because I also had to accept that now I won't be able to go back to school. I just have to find other ways for me to be able to go and complete my degree. As much as it is something that it was painful, but now I'm able to understand, I have to make sure I face the consequences of my action. And now I'm being groomed in a better way of making the right decisions of my life.
Now you put together your dream with accountability.
Yes.
And now it became Hollywood in South Africa. Because it really got you the results you needed, isn't that?
Yes.
Not with the glamour that they played with, but with the results that you needed.
Yes.
Isn't
Beautiful, beautiful. Because even though you see that there is no sadness, though she didn't further the studies that she wanted, she got something else, but still happy, knowing that later on she is going to do better again. So that's it, because some people remain sad.
Yeah.
Though they got another job, they are still sad, but you see the transformation, there is no sadness.
And there is experience. So that today you can be helping them with the skills and being aware that the dream has a price.
Yes, it
and
is.
you need to pay that price to achieve it.
Yes.
Life is not that easy. So this is the other side of the story, but I want to share with you God's point in this. I want to talk about today one young man. And he had a great responsibility. I'm not going to go lengthy into the story, but of course I'm talking about Timothy and the advice that Paul gave to him, because he had a task to fulfill. He had to fix the church of Ephesus, and the church was upside down. He was young and he could doubt himself. He was given a vow of trust, let me put like that. A job that was too great for him. As maybe you are now given a vow of trust from your parents, and you have too great of a dream to fulfill in your life. Your future, your career, you're going to go out of the house and you will face a new stage in your life. Yes, you're going to be alone, you're going to make your own decisions, but the quality of your choices will determine your future. So Paul, writing to Timothy, in the book of 1 Timothy 4, verse 12, he writes like this: "Let no one despise your youth. Do not despise yourself, your youth. Do not allow people to say to you, You only live once. You are so young. Why are you going to be so serious? Why are you going to carry this burden of being the example in your family? You need some fun. You need to live life. Do not despise the best years that you have, because your best years were not made to be wasted with things that will not be profitable to you. Proof of that, you can have fun, you can club, you can spend nights drinking, dancing, experimenting with chemicals. Fact is, after that moment of excitement, you regret, you have no peace. In that moment, you are despising the strength of your youth. You are giving ears to those who think that your youth is for you to waste, when the youth that you have is actually to build something great. And Paul teaches him how to go about. He says, but be an example to the believers in word, in conduct, in love, in spirit, in faith, in purity. I'm not going to break each one of these, but I'm going to dwell in the word, be an example. Be an example from the point of view that making the right choices, you will achieve what you want. You will build your life. You're going to look back and not have regrets. And because of that, you will be admired by your family. You will be an example to your friends. Maybe in the beginning they will criticize you. They will call you names. But when they get into trouble, they will turn back to you. So let us replace the believers and let us put here those friends in school that came with the same dream, but who knows? They will get lost along the way, like Google did, like Oratili did. And if you don't make the same mistake, you will be an example for them. And also in your faith. If you are from the church, and when I say the church, I'm not labeling Universal Church.
Yes.
When you are part of the body of Christ, when you really, really understand what is to live by God, do not trade your faith, your purity, for some time of fun, to fit in, just to, please your friends. Because if you stand your ground, if you develop the dream that you are called for, you will be a reference for them. When they need, they will look up to you. They are not going to look sideways, you doing the same. They are not going to look down at you. See that you made wrong choices and where you are now. When they get lost, they will look up to you. And through you, you will glorify God. You will bring praise to God. And you will bring honor to your family, besides building your future. This is what Paul told Timothy. This is what he is telling us today. So I hope you accept that advice. You see the example of Google, who had after to deal with her wrong choices. And thanks God, Google, you built a new life. Yes. But not everyone get to do that. Toko, how do you wrap up today's show?
Today's wrapping up of the show, we are not here saying that you shouldn't have fun. You can have fun without destroying your future. Because the problem is that people, they compromise a lot. They want to have fun in a way that it destroys their future. So we are not saying, I had fun. My fun might be boring to you. I had my own fun with my family members, but we did not go to that extent that you have to destroy your future, you have to forget about your future. So you can have fun, but you don't need to destroy your future. And remember that, people, those people that you are having fun with, at times they're the ones who are going to laugh at you. When things are not going well, they are the first people to laugh at you. So you have to remember that in your mind, you have these goals, and just tell yourself that I am going to fulfill the purpose that God called me for here. Because Gugu had future. She was a bright student, but because of, in the name of having fun. And another thing for me, Mrs. Marcia, when I was given freedom by my father, my definition of fun, of freedom was totally different. Mm-hmm. My definition of freedom was that I need to be responsible now. So sometimes people, they have their own definition of freedom. They think, as Gugu said, I need to do this, I need to do that. That's the definition of freedom for others. But for me, me personally, is that definition of freedom for me is being responsible. That is why you find that there are people who made it in life, and you wonder, you think, oh, it was luck. It wasn't. It's because when they were given the freedom, they did not misuse that freedom. They told themselves, I'm given freedom by my family members or by my mother. I don't want to disappoint them. So I'm going to use it wisely and be responsible. So that's what freedom is. It's not just for you to be doing everything that you want, but also to be responsible.
And this is why now I'm going to pray for you to have that kind of understanding. Yes, you will have freedom. No one will be after you. Time to wake up, time to cook, time to wash. Do not miss your classes. Yes, you will have freedom, but value the trust and responsibility that was given to you so that you seize this opportunity to build a great life. Shall we pray? Our Lord and our Father, we present to you right now all those who are exactly preparing themselves to leave home for the first time ever, to go and stay in another place, to stay in campus. And we know they are going to be confronted by different realities, by a different lifestyle, by not having the family close by to protect them, having to learn how to do the basics for themselves. And my Father, you know this is very, very exciting. But in that excitement, how many get lost and they come back home defeated because they remember they had the chance and they just burnt that opportunity. We pray for those who are leaving home now, not to have this sad experience, but just like Timothy, to be examples of faith, example of purity, example of commitment, to be truthful, not necessarily to the church, to their families, but to be truthful to themselves. Because at the end of the day, Lord, you know, they are the ones who are going to reap either the good fruits or the bad fruits of that decision. Family, their church friends, others will be disappointed, but no one will carry the pain that will be inside. So we pray, my Lord, that they uphold wisdom from you to make their decisions. They don't feel they need to compromise. They need to give in. They need to fit in. They see their value through you, that they were called and given this opportunity to build a great life. We bless their year. We bless their academic year. We bless those who maybe are moving to other provinces and other countries to build a career. They have passed the stage of varsity and now they are going to give a step further. They will maybe work in another place. May they be witness of your power and build a life for themselves. We bless them all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
We brought to you both sides. Now you decide. You always say the decision is yours. We will be back next week with another enticing show. And that one, I promise you, will be very enticing because we are going to talk about second chances, second run in life. To know more about that, next week, Friday, 3 p.m. we'll be back. And we hope you will be with us. Until then, God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.